Okay, as is my wont, let me just do a quick reaction to chapter 4, where we get told of how Gulliver gets to visit the metropolis of Mill, God, whatever the hell it's called, Mill. Here, I can go right to the beginning, and it will have, because all these chapters have this lovely summary thing. Mildendo, the capital of Lilliput, the great imperial capital, which is square, 500 feet by 500 feet, two main roads 5 feet across that he is able to walk down. There's a lot of different side alleys which he can't get down, and at the center is the emperor's palace, which has got like high walls. I think they're 5 feet tall, and so he wasn't able to visit it on his first visit, but he goes off into the great forest and makes himself 2 stools, puts down one stool, stands on top of it, lowers the other stool, stands on it, picks up the other one, and is able to go and look into the thing and tell you, and he's going to tell you all about this place and all their customs, but he's not going to do that in this book. He's going to write a big history of Lilliput, but this is just his account of him being in Lilliput for what apparently is going to be 9 months. And then he gets visited in his temple by the principal secretary of the emperor, who lays out to him that there's internal problems in Lilliput, and there is external problems. The internal ones are there's two factions there's two factions of people, one with high heels, one with low heels, and yes, the principal secretary being Dressal, and they've got the two factions, the Trameckesson and the Slammekesson. From the high and low heels are the shows by which they distinguish themselves, and it is alleged indeed that the high heels are most agreeable to our ancient constitution, but however this may be, His Majesty is determined to make use of only the low heels in the administration of his government. And His Majesty, they're trying to figure out where His Majesty leans. He actually literally leans, because one of his heels is lower, at least by a dur, than any of his court, and a dur is a measurement of about 14th part of an inch. So he walks with a bit of a hobble because of it, because he is balanced between the two factions in his thing, which you can think of like the Whigs and the Tories, I guess, in England, and how the king is probably balancing between them. Now, the other thing is there is a competing empire, the island of Belfuscu, which it's almost as large and as powerful as His Majesty. And he acknowledges that Gulliver has told him about like that there's other countries that are populated by guys like him who are humongous, but he says, like, we can't even conceive that, because it would only take a couple hundred of you guys to just completely decimate us. So we've decided that you've probably just been dropped from the moon or something like that. Now, they've been engaged in the most obstinate war for 36 moons. Everything's been passed, and it began on the full occasion because of the primitive way of breaking eggs. There is the people who believe that you should break the small end, and the people that bigger you could do the big end. The present Majesty's grandfather, while he was a boy, going to eat an egg and breaking it according to the ancient practice, happened to cut one of his fingers. Whereupon the emperor, his father, published an edict commanding all of his subjects, upon great penalties, to break the smaller end of the egg. So they had been breaking on the larger end. Now they're doing it on the smaller. But there were people so highly resented this that there's been 6 rebellions. One emperor lost his life, another his crown. And this stuff has been constantly fomented by the monarchs of Belfuscu, who also take all the exiles when they get defeated. There's been many hundreds of volumes been published upon the controversy, but the books of the big Indians have long been forbidden, and the whole party rendered incapable by law of holding employment, which you can't help but think of Roman Catholics in Britain not being able to hold public office. They're saying that basically, and they do make the explicit connection of they said that this is schism in religion, by offending against the fundamental doctrine of our great prophet Lustrog in the 45th chapter of the Blundenkraal, which is their Alcorn. Though when you look at the text, at least Restral claims that all true believers break their eggs at the convenient end. So it seems to be just up to every man's conscience of like what end they should break it. But you know, there's the big enders and there's the little enders. So there's that. But the big thing is that the Belfuscus are, you know, they're encouraging. There's been a bloody war has been carried out between these two monarchs because of this. And now the fact is that the Belfuscus are launching a great fleet that are preparing to make their descent upon us. And so the Imperial Majesty is asked for Gulliver's help to intervene in this matter, to take up arms on their behalf. And Gulliver makes a kind of a thing of like, oh, I didn't think it would become me as a foreigner to interfere with parties. But I was ready with the hazard of my life to defend his person and the state against all invaders. So, but I'll do it. So that is chapter 4, which is definitely getting. We've gone straight into religion with the big enders and the little enders of the eggs there. So yes, we're definitely. You can see this is a fun book that's often commenting on stuff, and the heels, the Whigs and the Tories, definitely. I'm assuming we'll take a look at the notes just next video. All right, more videos later.